we're back with Converge. Now we have JOToole sitting with us with Michael Moore. Nice to have the two together because you are collaborating a lot on a lot of different projects. And I think our viewers would really like to hear some of the collaborations because I know there's always moving targets. We read a lot in the newspapers about the latest events. So let's open up that conversation. First of all, how does the two work together? Maybe John, you can answer that question for me.
Yeah, we've had a. I will say I've been here 7.5 years, and in that time we've had 8 administrators. Okay, Mike Moore has really brought some balance to Beaufort County. I think the council's working well together, and by extension of Mike's staff, Hank Admonson, Rob Merchant in the planning area, Hillary Austin. Hank has really kind of allowed us to really work very smoothly with the county. So we're really grateful for that. You know, in economic development, I've said it before, but we had an intern work with us who was an engineer, and he said, "You've got a really tough job. You're responsible for a lot, but you have no authority." So the key is having these great working relationships. And I think in Mike's tenure here, things are leveling out. I'll call it rancor, if that's not hyperbole, but
Right.
the bumpiness between the community and the communities and the county are much smoother. The relationship with, as you'll talk about later today, education, where education interacts with the community or its role in the community and its role with economic development. There's just so much wonderful collaboration. I think that is a testament to Mike's leadership and kind of a steady hand on the tiller, if you will. I think we're in a better shape, best shape I think we've been in since I've been here.
Oh, that's good news. You know, let me give you a simple example about what John is saying. Let's just say education. When John is looking to bring businesses in, they're looking for a level of professional or educated people here to facilitate the jobs that they have, the job openings. So we need to be able to have those people available unless they bring everybody in, but we also have to have a responsibility that we can have the workforce, the quality educated workforce that they're looking for. So that's where the county comes in because they have to look at the school systems and say, are we meeting the needs, the expectations? Are we moving into 21st century, 22nd century, and all those things? So that's an example of what we're talking about. Would you say that's a good one?
Yeah, I'll give a very real example, not to shock Mike, but yesterday my phone rang and we're gonna, some funding that we had for product development is gonna be pared down significantly in the next budget year. But when you have a good relationship with the administration, you understand all the different interests that they're balancing. It's not where you start arguing, or it's just a collaborative effort to kind of meet the needs of the entire community. And as you know, we always talk about the Beaufort balance wheel. So being good stewards of the environment is up there. Funding education, economic development, skills, workforce skills, housing, and transportation. And so we recognize that Mike and the county council have a really difficult job. But when there's true collaboration and true trust, when that call comes in, you understand from where it comes. It's not nobody's pulling the plank out from underneath you. It's just the really tough business of balancing demands with resources. So I think that's a very real example of how we work together.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've been covering the Economic Development Corp, talking to John now for 6 years. And I know you've been at the helm for 10 months, but for me, I've always felt there's a unity of all of our education, health, economic, government. There's always been a unity amongst everybody. Sure. I'm sure there's some things that go a little rogue or awry, but I've always felt everybody's trying to do something better for the community. But how about you? What's your perspective now that you're here for 10 months?
Well, and I appreciate John's comments earlier. And it's a great to be able to work with the community here and work with John's team. I do think we have a good collaboration, because we have our staff Hank, who works very closely with them. We also have council members who are on the board, so they're part of the process, if you will, of evaluating projects. But getting back to the education you mentioned, the county is making investments in the Technical College of the Lowcountry, TCL, and USCB to help that demand for skilled workers here across the spectrum of skills.
Yeah. I mean, we've gone, as you say, from hospitality to office. We need administrators for the office, and we also need, the doctors and the nurses.
Healthcare is a big one, yes.
And we also need, what other things do we need in this community? Everything, transportation, right?
Yes, of course. Transportation is a challenge here in the county. If you've tried to, travel from the north part of the county down to the southern part in the morning, or you're trying to make your way, east from Hardeeville into Bluffton or onto the island, it's a challenge. And it's been recognized, and as I had mentioned earlier, the referendum that failed last year, but we're going to need to continue to look at other ways to make improvements to meet the growth and demand.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, John? I mean, in the last 7 years, how are we doing?
I think great. If you look at seven years ago when I got here, there was really a crisis in the K through 12 with the superintendent we had at the time. Frank Rodriguez came in, communicated great with the community, and in the time I've been here, I think nearly like $400 million in referendums have been approved. So I believe given Mike's leadership, the council's leadership, transportation is going to be important moving forward. There'll be more efforts made in education as well. I think it was a little bit of a confidence crisis, and I think with the steady leadership, clear communication, because I believe even on a penny tax, correct me if I'm wrong, but like 70% of that might be paid for by visitors. Is that fair amount?
It's a fair amount. It's definitely around at least a 50%.
And and the community showed, again, paying attention to the things that we value. With the green penny, Beaufort County stepped up as the first county in the state to say it was going to raise $100 million for a purchase of green space, preserving open space, protecting our environment, and in short order, faster than they thought. They actually, before they hit the off switch, actually raised $120 million, which I'm sure the people who voted overwhelmingly in support of that are happy with the greater amount going to it. But similarly, I believe with Mike's leadership, clear communication, and the pressures and empathy that we have to have for the working person who really struggles and is like one fender bender away from devastation as they make their way from northern Beaufort County to southern Beaufort County, or from when you see traffic boxed up on 95
I was
when
going to
you're
say
coming
95. That's even gotten tricky in the morning, right?
Yeah, I drop my wife off at the airport sometimes early in the morning and try to get back to Beaufort County, and I'll be in bumper to bumper on 95. And can you imagine Buc-ee's is going to go off of exit 8?
I can imagine.
So the coordination that I know Mike does with Jasper County is critical. Is going to be critical as well. We're not in a vacuum.
But aren't they going to expand the highway? Aren't they going to make it into a 3-lane highway, to my understanding?
Parts of I-95, that's correct.
Aren't we the
yes.
only state that only has 2 lanes? So I think it'd be really good when they do that.
No, I came from one. Connecticut only has 2 as well. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you, Mike. Very nice to meet you. Congratulations. Lots of success in your position, and good luck. And we really, really look forward to hearing more about what's going on from the Beaufort County.
Looking forward to it.
And John, you and I will be right back. So this is Converge. We'll be right back.